I want to talk about this Paulina Porizkova lady, the 56-year-old supermodel that dared to look her age. Do you see this?
I did a video on it, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. So Porizkova was once the world's highest paid model, but as she hit her 50s, she says she was suddenly invisible. Now 56, she's leading a new wave of older women taking their place in the spotlight and on the catwalk and flaunting it on Instagram in her bikini. What do you think of Paulina Porizkova, Carl?
I think that nature is a very cruel mistress.
To women, very much so.
Yes, to women. She's not overly kind to men either, to be honest. But
We
the
get the better end of the deal out of the two.
when we get older, we do, yeah.
Yes.
When we get older, but when we're young, we don't. It's quite rough, actually.
Shite.
Yeah, well, we're thrown into a world where we're competing with a bunch of men who have a bunch of advantages over us, and there's no way of getting these advantages until a set period of time has passed. So you just sat there, right? So there's literally nothing you can do other than get your head down and get to work.
Yeah.
That's all you can do as a man. But women have got a completely reverse dynamic, and it's kind of unfortunate actually. They're in our society. They emerge into a society that doesn't warn them that this doesn't last forever. Their birth, they become a woman, 18 years old, and you can see all the OK Cupid data and things like that. Women are most attractive to men, all men, at about 21 years old. Like every man will say 21-year-old is the most attractive woman.
I've seen the same graph.
Age.
I've seen the same graph that you're talking about. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Whereas women will say, the most attractive men will be roughly their own age as they get older, and peak at about 40, 45. And so men have that advantage over women, is that women are given a huge amount of social and sexual power in their youth that is just drained away as they age. And this is not fair, but it is a fact. And so this is what women should be. They should be using their time in their youth to find the best man for them, the man they really want, and get him into a long-term relationship, preferably a marriage. So when they're in their 50s, they have the companion and they have earned the status of being the wife of this man. This is not, they're not going to be finding themselves on their own, because at 56, men are not looking for a 56-year-old woman. Men who are eligible and who are looking for a partner do not consider 56-year-olds unless they're a significant amount older than 56.
Well, the thing that I saw from reading that article,
I don't agree with these mofos. I mean, well, they're right in a certain sense, but like a lot of women do. Paulina did everything right. She got married. She was married for a long time, and her husband, who was way older than her, dumped her, treated her like a piece of furniture, if you followed her story, and then didn't leave her in his will out of vindictiveness. I mean, even if you do everything right, you can't win for losing. It's really annoying. Like, and that's the thing. They're like, oh, use your youth and beauty to find a husband and do all this or whatever. I mean, as if that, like, I wasn't even looking for a husband in my 20s. Like, I think a lot of women aren't looking for husbands. Seriously, but they're acting like that's what we're supposed to do or something. I don't know. It's so weird. Like, um, but I got married, and I was married to a porn addict, and I was celibate in my own marriage. Other women get married. They do what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to do. They get someone who beats the crap out of them, is an abuser, or a drunk, or obviously there's so many women that or the guy is a chronic cheater. Like my aunt had to deal with like a whole bunch of illegitimate babies that my uncle was having. I don't know. Like I just feel like women can't win for losing, and then we get old, and then we're no longer valuable. I mean, aren't people connecting to other people based on a personality and character, and we clicking? And so that, I mean, and Paulina, fortunately, to kind of date this, she found someone at 56 who was around her age. Like what they're saying is not possible. And he seems like he's a dude that likes her for her personality, not just her looks, you know? And that's really what people should be connecting with even when you're younger. Even because like that's the thing, like I've noticed that looks are not all that like my last boyfriend was really good looking dude. And he would act when he acted like a psycho nutbag when he drank, his looks just flew out the window. His big dick and his looks just flew out the window. Dealing with his shit. And he was a good looking ass bitch. Okay. I'm like, and I'm sure there's a lot of men who can attest to this too, where they get like the hot one, the hot chick. They got the trophy. And then she's batshit crazy. And they're like, okay. And all the times I've seen old dudes that get their hot trophy and then they still end up treating the trophy like shit.
A city councilman faces murder charges in Washington after police accused him of killing his much younger girlfriend. This week, he entered a not guilty plea in court. We're going to dig into the charging documents with Seattle.
I mean, dude, I've just seen crazy shit. Like this, maybe this is a general rule or something, and older women don't get looks and all this stuff. But if you're real, I mean, who cares if you're not getting gawked at by dudes? Who cares if they don't want to bang you? A lot of them, like I said, are just not really that good. And the ones that usually are good are the bad boys, you know, that you don't really want anyway. They don't make good partners. I was like, we freaking literally can't win for losing, okay? And I picked eccentric Florida auntie filter because she looked like she still has fun in her old age. I'm just saying, okay? A lot of this is conditioning. And just because these guys make it seem like this is just written in stone. I got more attention when I was dating before I met my ex-boyfriend, when I was attempting to date. I got more attention from young men than I did, like they're saying, fit men my age. The aging process emasculates men, and that's why they need their young trophy woman. Because I was getting a lot of attention from younger men, ripped, good-looking studs. I could get those way more than I could some decrepitude. Like seriously though, oh my God. And people might argue like, oh, they'll never take you seriously. I ended up rolling with the F boy. He was younger than me for 6 years. Of course, I was part of his harem. I made it out without any STDs. Praise Jesus. But anyway, but still, there's no guarantee that the old decrepitudes aren't going to dump you either. That's the thing. And I rolled with my last boyfriend, who was also younger than me, for almost 7 years. Like, well, he got deported. So a year and a half of that was he was deported. He got deported because of his drunken antics. This was before Trump got in office too. But his mom brought him over when he was 3. So he was technically American. And I really clicked with him, dude. A lot of times we didn't even notice the age gap or anything because we just enjoyed each other's company. Like seriously, when he was not drinking, when he drank, he turned into a psycho ass nut job. I'm doing another video on that because this one lady did a video on TikTok about how her boyfriend acts like a batshit crazy lunatic when he drinks. And I totally empathized with her. It was horrible because that's how this mofo was. And he wanted me to he got deported back to Mexico. He wanted me to go to Mexico. And I just couldn't do it because he was so scary when he drank that I didn't want to be stuck in Mexico and he decides to relapse because there's a high recidivism rate with alcoholism. And then I'm stuck in Mexico with this mofo acting batshit crazy. I was like, oh hell no. But I could have been with him. Like, I don't know. And I did genuinely love him. I did. And I can tell he loved me when he was sober. When he was drunk, he didn't love anyone. Even his mom. His mom's the one that checked him into a facility because even she was scared of his ass when he drank, dude. He was scary when he drank, dude. I'm serious. Anyway, but yeah, like, I just feel like I'm glad that Paulina is proving this theory with these people wrong. She's in a relationship. She's looking beautiful, and she's living her best life. So thank God. Like there's like, and I just really I feel like sometimes there's like this thing to diminish women, to think that they're like, unless they're a pretty princess, unless they're like youthful pretty princess, they've got no value. Which it's like I feel like that's a manipulation tactic to keep women under control, to keep them fighting with each other. All for what? So they can get a dude that's just gonna cheat on them, lie on them, abuse them. I mean, sometimes there will be. I mean, I found a good ass husband, like for reals. Other than he was just completely hijacked by pornography. He wasn't abusive. There was no drama in our relationship. He was a solid dude. Mofo was still skipping up the corporate ladder, making more and more money. I found a good ass husband, and I was celibate in my marriage. I mean, I was like, damn, like fuck. I did what I was supposed to when I was young. I found a good ass husband and shit. Popped out a great ass kid. Like, I mean, I know a lot of dudes are really superficial and transactional, and a lot of women are as well. Like, we're like this. I mean, I've known women that unless you have bank, they're not going to touch your dick with a 10-foot pole. Like, I've seen that a lot, you know. But I mean, if you really connect with someone and on a deeper level, and you have really good, great friendship, and like, you just have to be attractive enough to want to engage with them. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is a general rule, but like if you're connecting with someone on a deeper level, like I think that's part of the issue. It's like we're not connecting with each other on deeper levels. We're just connecting with each other on superficial transactional levels. And I really feel like that's an issue. I'm gonna read some of these statements here. It says the comments. So Paulina's not invisible. She's merely experiencing a normal level of visibility rather than the excess availability that she possessed when she was a young supermodel. Well, of course, she was on billboards, magazines. Of course, she had insane levels of visibility. I don't know. Some of these, as far as male attention, Paulina had all of it to herself. She didn't have all of it to herself. She was just projected out into the media, you know? The first time I heard a woman over 50 say she was invisible, she was happy about it. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with this because I did not like attention. Yeah, when I was younger, oof, I was trying to do whatever I could to diminish it because the male attention was ugh. There's a lot of women that do that too. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of women that cover their shit up. I mean, I was in Doc Martens and peacoats, right? And flannels. I tried to come across, and my height helped me a lot too. My height helped me mitigate a lot because men are emasculated by height, and that helped a lot because I got more than I even wanted. And um, anybody that gets to their 30s and is primarily taking the main source of their value to the world from the way they look has invested their resources into appreciating asset. I agree with that. I agree with that. That's true. But that's the thing. The thing is that even if you're young and magnificent looking and like the pinnacle of beauty, which I don't really think is worth much. I'm sorry, because even if you guys got gawking at you, I hated that shit. A lot of us don't like men gawking at us. I hated that shit. Ugh. A lot of them were nasty. I mean, you always get dudes that were on your nuts that you just were repulsed by. Dude. And then a lot of the women that are hot, you know, and they can get some quote unquote high value dude. A lot of times they get cheated on. They're just part of a harem. I mean, look what happened to Halle Berry and all these magnificent looking women and these famous superstar mega status women or gorgeous women. They get cheated on just like left and right. There's no, Or like women are treated like shit even if they're young and hot. Like they're acting like it's some kind of pinnacle of existence that you get attention from men. And and women are conditioned by this. You know, they do all kinds of crazy shit to make themselves still look like youthful, and they get weird shit done to their faces, and like women that were stunning and would have been attractive older women. At least I feel like Paulina is a great role model for women because she hasn't gotten shit done to her face. She might have gotten more like superficial lasers or some shit like that. But that's it. Nothing surgical, no fillers and shit. And she's embracing her assets as she ages. She looks great, I think. She looks fabulous. Um, she's embracing her sexuality still, which we shouldn't be shamed as women to do that. Like, what? Like, why do these old, decrepit, bald, crepey dudes get to still be sexually viable just because they've got money? I know a lot. I have a girlfriend now dating a dude way older than her. He's decrepit and bald and looks gross. Like, he's crepey, okay? She's way attractive compared to him. And he's telling her she needs to go to the gym because she's got a tiny little belly. And he gets to be bald and crepey. Like, the double standards are frustrating, especially, you know? And that's because women are just seen more as like beauty props. You know, it's so annoying. And it's like we resent it because as humans, like we're equal and we have equal value and purpose. Really, that's the truth, even though our culture doesn't treat us that way. And we end up internalizing it and not treating each other that way. But the truth is that we are equal. The male and female principle are equal principles, even as principles and embodied versions. I'm just saying. And I knew this one lady. She was a self-admitted gold digger, though. I'm not gonna lie, she was, and she wouldn't touch a dick unless they made 10 million or more. I mean, 10 million might have been too low for her. She was on that serious shit. Like, wouldn't like. She rolled with this old ass dude. She was in her late 30s, had a lot of plastic surgery, didn't look like a Frankenfreak yet, but she was on the cusp. I haven't seen her in like a decade, so God only knows what she looks like now. But she was ordinary looking growing up, but then she got all this plastic surgery and made herself look like really pretty. She did. She looked really pretty, right? And she was going for these high status dudes, and she found this dude. I mean, she was rolling with these dudes that looked heinous because I was more of an acquaintance with this girl. We had another friend that I was closer to, and that friend would tell me about this shit, right? And show me pictures of the dudes this woman was dating, right? And she would roll with these high rollers, like big money dudes, like shipping heirs and all that stuff. She dated this shipping heir in Florida, and he looked like Jabba the Hutt with a mullet. A heinous looking older dude in his 70s. Okay. And she's like, I'm young and hot. I'm in my late 30s compared to this dude in his 70s. This dude had incontinence problems. I was finding out all this from our mutual friend, right? This mofo was peeing in her during sex, peeing the bed at night, just in general. The place smelled like urine. He looked like I said, Jabba the Hutt with a mullet, just not an attractive dude, just ugh. And she was putting up with all this shit, thinking that like, oh, she's younger than him, and this decrepit old man ended up dumping her like a piece of trash. She had to deal with all that. Like, I've never seen dating up and with rich old dudes. I've never seen that pan out well. Okay, we've got this thing. Oh, date someone way older. You know, there's no guarantee that this older dude's gonna treat you well. We see too many examples of old decrepitudes treating even their young hot trophy women like shit. I mean, that's the thing. Women cannot win for freaking losing. Like, we're just screwed either way. Like, that's why you just gotta like, do you try to roll with a dude that's gonna connect with you on a deeper level and that you have genuine friendship and companionship with. I mean, that should be the goal, even when you're young and hot. I'm just saying. Okay, so I'm looking at some of these other comments. My mother was a catalog model in the 80s. I watched her become absolutely destroyed by her waning hotness and loss of the male gaze. I was very fortunate to understand the difference between cultivation of character over maintaining hotness. I mean, that is true. I mean, but I think even young hot people should be doing this. They should be cultivating their character, because looks really aren't even all that, especially when you get to know someone, their looks kind of just fade even when they were good looking. I'm just saying. Um, Instead of acting her age and be mature moving on, she's still clinging on to the past. That right there is a midlife crisis. I'm like, um, I don't think she's doing that. This quote I agree with. Paulina was widowed. She did what she was supposed to. She was married for 30 years. When her husband, Rick Ocasek, died, she did everything that the men are saying that women should do. She put her husband and children first and her family above her career. Like, that's the thing. She did everything she was supposed to do. Then he treated her like shit. And then she took care of him even after even though Rick had been behaving like an asshat for the past 2 and 3 years, Paulina still loved him. I mean, she had a harsh childhood. She didn't have she's an Eastern Bloc. They don't have easy childhoods. It wasn't like she just found a way to use her looks to make money. Because like the Eastern Bloc women, like that aesthetic of beauty is considered ideal. So you see a lot of Eastern Bloc models. Like, I'm just saying, like, she didn't have some easy childhood, like, and I don't think she's like pining for the attention that she wanted to necessarily. She just wants, like, for me, she just wants to be valued. That's what we all want. We don't want to be just devalued just because we've got wrinkles, and we don't want to be like sexless just because we've got wrinkles. Like, we still want to be desired and have a healthy, loving sex life into our old age. I mean, look at what's happening in all these old ladies' homes. There's apparently like epidemics of STDs going down in these old ladies' homes. People still want to bang when they're old. I'm just saying, like this whole idea that women are supposed to just drop off the face of the planet once they pass 45 is, to me, insane. And in some areas, it's mofo 25. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio, he's tossing his woman out at 25. And even in the porn industry, like the Hot Girls Wanted, women are old hags at 25. And they have to go into these psycho niche porns where they get choked out by some dude's dick, man. Like, the devaluing of women is a problem. I mean, and dudes got something waiting for their ass too, I'm telling you. They think they can get away with it. I know I've got this eccentric auntie, okay, it's got some crazy ass theories, okay, and I'm going to drop one on y'all. I watched this podcast, or this guy, and there's a lot of podcasts like this going out. Here's another one. A lot of people talking about near-death experiences and how consciousness does not die when our body dies. People see into their past lives and shit. I've been able to see shit like that. I've seen it in my own past lives. And I know that shit sounds crazy. No one's going to believe me because everyone thinks that shit's woo-woo. But it is a capacity people can develop. And we all have it. We all have the capacity, okay, for psychic abilities and seeing into our own past lives. A lot of times people will get hypnosis and do it and all this stuff. But the shit's real. And we don't believe it is. We think this is it. And that's why when Christ said, do unto others, that shit was literal. It's literal. Because we literally experience if you watch any of these podcasts like this and people talk about their life review, they literally experience what they've done to others, and they literally feel it as if it was happening to them. And they feel all the emotional pain and whatever they created for others. And I know, like, when I've seen into my past lives, I've seen them have dreams. You can have them in dreams and shit. There's some people that have developed their psychic capacity more to a higher level. I've just accidentally tapped into it at times, which probably a lot of people have. Okay. I dream about my battalions and shit. A lot of times with soldiers, you form deep bonds in those kind of environments with mofos. Okay, I will have dreams about my battalion and shit, and like I even had psychics confirm that I've been a soldier in a past life because like the whole 21st century was like a war, and millions of people in war and battle, you know, and we go in and out of different incarnations, male and female, and different races and all that, you know. So I just know that if you're gonna be a douchebag ass dude, you got something waiting for your ass. You're gonna have to be a woman. I feel like I had to learn lessons being born a female. I know that shit's crazy. Mofos are gonna be like, "Oh, you're just crazy, eccentric auntie." Yeah, I am. And auntie's trying to tell you to act right, so you don't have to deal with the consequences of your own actions. I'm just saying, okay. But these dudes all like, yeah, like, and like women are just no value. You got something waiting for your ass. You're gonna be born a woman, and you're gonna have to be devalued in order for you to get your shit situated. Okay. I'm just trying to warn you, mofos. You go ahead, go act buck wild, go ahead, and then be born a woman in your next life and have to deal with some shit. I'm here to tell you that's what the fuck happens, because I probably was a douchebag as a dude in my mofo past life. I'm just saying.